But this man then has the audacity and the nerve to then call this Colombian girlfriend to meet up with him in the Dominican Republic. The place he came to meet up with another woman, he's now meeting up with another woman. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl JD here, back with another video. So as you can tell by the title, we are going to be talking about one particular person from a 90-Day Fiancé, and this was actually their Love in Paradise spin-off. So I never actually did a recap of this spin-off, but I'm not really sure how it differs from their The Other Way show, but you know, whatever. Okay, I'm just saying it looks similar, but you know, it is what it is. But I also want to talk about April and Valentine in another video, but only if you guys are interested. Okay, you have to let me know if you're interested in me doing a video on them, because there were definitely a lot of wild moments when it came to those two. So y'all let me know in the comments. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about Scott. Okay, so Scott and Lydia was one of the couples in this Love in Paradise season 3 or 2, 3. I can't remember. Anyways, I know it ain't the first season because they've had a season before this. So he was dating Lydia, who I've spoken about in my video for the family Chantel, if you guys want to check that out. She's the mother to Pedro and also the slightly unstable, in my opinion, Nicole. But they were talking for a few months, or I think about a year at this point, before Scott had came to the Dominican Republic where she lives, and he basically comes over there to see her in person for the first time. And it's with less than bare minimum Spanish capabilities. Okay, so it's really hella awkward watching them try to talk to each other. Just watching them try to communicate is just painful to listen to. That really comes into play, especially when he asks this random person at a bar to translate for him on his date with Lydia. And then he tried to make a joke about possibly having other wives. And I was just like, okay, I don't really find that funny, Scott. And I think that's not really going to transfer well into another language because he can't really capture your sense of humor. So I don't know what he was thinking with that one, but it wasn't funny. He kind of also comes across as very, very needy and clingy. You don't really see it too much with Lydia just yet, but it definitely comes across when we find out some more information about Scott. So it gets even weirder when Nicole, you know, she comes into the picture and tries to ask Scott some questions about his past. But it's mainly, I think, because Lydia, she can't speak English, and Nicole kind of has to basically translate for her. But I think she could have used like a phone app translator to speak, but I guess maybe she didn't have connection or didn't want to at the time. So Nicole was pretty much asking things like, how many people have you slept with, and also the ages of the women that he slept with. And that's where things start going downhill, because I'm like, why do you need to know the age? Like, what? So obviously Lydia finds out that he was dating younger women thanks to that question, but it's not really something that he cares about. He doesn't really care about the fact that she's much older. You know, it's not really that serious. Eventually they have a major blow up, and Nicole is pretty much the accelerant at this point. And Scott decides that things with Lydia are just going to keep getting more and more complicated as the days go by. And it's mainly because of their language barrier, but also, okay, he reveals that his 20-something-year-old Colombian ex-girlfriend hit him up through messages after he had been trying for over a year. Over a year. Yes, you heard that right. Over a year. While talking to Lydia, he was trying to also message his ex-girlfriend of his. And she wasn't answering. So finally she responds, and he's just like, oh yeah, I've been talking to her. So Lydia, of course, feels betrayed, and they break things off. But this man then has the audacity and the nerve to then call this Colombian girlfriend to meet up with him in the Dominican Republic. The place he came to meet up with another woman, he's now meeting up with another woman. So on the way to the hotel, we start to see just how needy and clingy Scott really is. Okay, this is when we really see the true Scott come out. So Scott knows this woman has been ignoring him. Straight up ignoring him, okay, for a year, over a year. And the first thing that comes out of his mouth is, I love you. Of course, he talks about all the activities and stuff that he has planned and, you know, all that good stuff. But then he says, I love you like 3 or 4 times. You have not spoken to this girl in over a year. And now you're gonna say, I love you. Like, what? Too much. Too freaking much. So it really just confused me as to why you would tell someone that you love them after they ghosted you. I'm not really understanding. And after that, there was just way too much compliments. Way too many compliments. Like talking about how beautiful she is. And you could tell that she was getting really overwhelmed. And he was also touching her. It was just too much. It was too much. This man, the entire ride to the hotel, did not shut up. So by the time they get to the hotel, this woman is done. She is fed up. She is like finished. So this was honestly the fastest I've ever seen a woman leave on 90 Day Fiancé on any of their shows ever. It literally only took a few hours, not months, not days, hours for this woman to bounce and be like, I've had enough. Okay, she got to the room, she packed up her stuff, and she left. Scott is just looking around all confused, trying to figure out like what the hell happened. I'm like, sir, are you for real? Like, seriously? Like, how are you confused? It was just so frustrating just watching him. I would have ran, not walked. She walked away. I would have ran away. I hope she didn't stay in the same hotel, because oh my god. So he then tries to go back and apologize to Lydia. And in season 5 of The Family Chantel, she actually gives him another chance. And even after getting beat up by Pedro, her son, he's still trying to get with her. He's still trying to ignore the craziness. And I just honestly feel like that's very telling of how needy and clingy you are as a person. Just in my opinion. Basically, they're chilling. They're having a sort of good time, I guess, considering that her son just beat him up. But that doesn't really last long. She gets some evidence from somebody that he was talking to this other woman while he was in the Dominican Republic. And yeah, it gets really sad really fast. It's almost as bad as David and Lana a few seasons ago, if y'all remember that 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days. It was just really painful to watch. With Scott, I just he kind of reminds me of a Dr. Seuss character. The way his mouth kind of curls up and is shaped, he reminds me of a Dr. Seuss character. But y'all let me know if y'all see it. But I just think deep down, it's like, I don't understand how you go from running off one woman to now being with another woman, realizing that her family and she is also crazy. They're all crazy. All 3 of them are crazy. And you don't see that as a problem. This is where the neediness comes in. It's too much. I hope they don't bring Scott back, and I hope Lydia doesn't start a back and forth with him, because this is just too much. I had to talk about him in his own video because I'm like, Scott, do better for yourself. I know he was married before he got divorced, but I'm like, sir, you don't need to be in a relationship that bad. If you're doing things like this, it's not that serious. Really. But y'all let me know if y'all ever watched this specific season of 90 Day Fiancé Love in Paradise. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about these couples. Also let me know if y'all would like me to do a video about Valentine and April. Let me know. But I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.